Good morning, everybody. It is a nice sunny day today, finally, after 2 days of it raining, and I've been itching to get to a project here. This is my to me, new 2018 Ford F-250. I'm loving it. It's a Lariat. It has a lot of bells and whistles. It has a, I think they call it the Vista moonroof or whatever. The whole full upper, most of the ceiling is glass, which is pretty awesome. But about a week ago, I was driving along and I wanted to open up the sunroof, enjoy it, and went to push the button and it kind of like didn't go right away, and then I heard a pop and then a snap and then a crunch, and it kind of rolled back a little bit, and opened up. Freaked out as anybody would. What the heck was that noise? And pull over. And we're trying to get the sunroof to close, and it's open, and it's going a little bit forward, stopping, going back, and I'm freaking out. And so I get up on top and I look through, and I did find a couple pieces of plastic in there. And not knowing anything about this, I have no idea what had happened. And so after a little bit of struggling, I was lucky and was able to get the roof closed. So I left it at that point. I am able to have it go up into the vent position where it is now, which is good. And so what I am going to do today is attempt to try to fix my moonroof. Now, I am no expert on this. I got this information from researching the web. So I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel here. The guy I learned this from online did an amazing job, and so I highly recommend you check out his channel too. Like I said, this is going to be just a trial and tribulation of watching his stuff. So he's the master that I learned from, and we'll leave a link in the description to his. Okay, so before we get started, let me go over some of the things that I figured out first. So what my approach here today, and what had happened is, like I had said, is I went to close it, and the seal around the glass on the moonroof needs to be lubricated. It should be very lubricated. Now, Ford has their own lube that they recommend, but it's in a little teeny tiny tube, and it's very expensive. And PacFan web guy, he recommended using this stuff, which made sense. It's $30, but look how much you get. I'll be able to use this on lots of stuff, like my camper, lots of things. So it would made more sense to go with the bigger thing. So one of the first things we have to do is address the problem, which is that my moonroof stuck because it was not lubricated, and it ultimately, the force that the rails took to try to open up the window cracked the plastic rail that we're going to show. That's what I'm going to go inspect. So I have some alcohol here to clean it, and then we're going to lube it. So that's hopefully going to fix the problem so it doesn't occur again, in theory, right? So then we're going to need a few tools too. But you also need the parts. Now, my approach, like I said, is after watching a lot of these videos, it seems to be that these rails crack and fail. And I'm not opening this box yet. We're gonna go take the glass off of the truck and inspect everything first. That's where we're gonna go with this, because there is the caveat that it may not just be these rails, it could be the track as well. So my plan is to go take the glass off, which is only 6 screws, and we're going to move that out of the way. We're going to take the boots off underneath first, and then take the glass off, and then we're going to inspect everything before we even open this box, because I bought this from the Ford dealership. It is OEM, and that is the part number that I got. Now, when I called them, they tried to tell me that I needed the whole track, and I was like, no, thanks to PacFan web guy, he in his information, I was able to go, no, I know you can get these things, and you can also buy these from, like, I think Sunroof Doctor has them, but I don't know if they're OEM from there. I prefer going OEM, and I know that there were there was information about if someone had read it, I've read in a forum that they may have upgraded these a little bit to help solve the cracking problem. So anyway, I went with the OEM. I don't like to struggle, so that's what I did. Anyways, we need that, but I'm not opening it yet because I want to inspect and make sure that I don't have to go further and get a track. Because if the track is busted, if the mechanisms that pull on the track are broken, then it's a bigger problem, and I don't want to open this until that, so that I can possibly return it, because this cost me $170 from the dealership. And like I said, they were trying to get me to buy the whole track, and I was like, no, I just need these. But I did also ask them their return policy. So they, as long as they leave them in the box for now, I can climb. Finally, it stopped raining. I'm going to climb up on that truck and take the glass off, and I'm going to inspect first. Now, you do need a few tools to start, and from what I was watching, you need a number 1 screwdriver and a number 2. Now, these aren't magnetic, but I do have a little trick for that. It works is just take a magnet like this and stick it to your screwdriver. Now you have a magnetic screwdriver. So I don't have to go out and buy a magnetic one because I don't want to lose these screws, but that's a good little hack for you. Now, we got our number 1 and our number 2 screwdriver, but we also need a T25 to take the glass off. That's the bolts for the glass. And it doesn't hurt to have a magnetic bowl, because then we don't lose our screws. I am going to use this, but I'm just going to use it to get to the bolts to take the glass off, because I got a long extension on there and it'll make it pretty easy. But I think it would also be wiser, because I see a lot of moisture here, to probably get up there and get all the water off the top of it first. So let's do that. Hey, I'm going to use a step ladder to get up there, because I know I have the floorboards there, but I'm a big guy and I don't think they're designed to just be stood on for long term. And yeah, so like, it's going to make more sense to clean this off. But you know what, I was going to use a towel, but let's work smarter, not harder. Okay, so I got this awesome, I was against electric power garden tools, but this thing's pretty cool. Just putting it in there real quick. I actually like this, pretty neat. Anyways, what we're gonna do, and I use this on my motorcycle a lot, is, we'll do a little quick wipe down too. Now that all that moisture is gone, and there. Here is everything I've got everything I hope that I should need to do this project. I got my T25 torque. I've got that set up on this drill to get the glass off. I got my screwdrivers for the track when we get there, but like I said, we're gonna take this. I got some rubber gloves, a terry cloth to wipe up any grease or whatever. I do have some white lithium grease, not much in there. If that doesn't work, I'm going to use a little bit of this on the track that goes into the slide. All right, well, let's get into this. Let's dive in. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is we got to get that. Let's get this open here. Let's see. Hey. Just start it up real quick. And let's turn that off. All right, so we need to open up just this part first. So we're just opening that sucker up and getting it all the way opened up there. Okay. Now that is all the way retracted. And so now what we need to do is to get to this glass, you have to do it in the vent position, which is this middle button right here. And you can see it opened up. Here, I'll close it. I'll show you. I'll close it. Alright, that's closed. It has to be in that position for us to get this boots off and to get to the 3 screws on this side and the 3 screws on this side. Okay, so let's turn off the truck now. Okay, now let's Now, these things are supposed to just come out. Well, let's see if this will be, how easy this is. So, yeah, they are just in there, I guess. Okay, yeah, so they're like kind of up in the glass, so they're just a lip, and that came off right there really easily. And then I guess you do the same thing on the bottom, which that part wasn't for sure on it in the video, but I just want to make sure I know how to put it back on. Okay, yeah. So there's like a little channel, and it's just going to come right off of there, like that. You see, I'm pulling that off there. That was super easy. And then that's all it is a little accordion thing. We're gonna throw that right in the back seat for now. And then that's where our screws are, right there. And we're gonna do that to this other side too, real quick here. So let's just pull that out. Yeah, so that pulls straight out this way like that. And then there's another one on the bottom here. If you kind of, let's see. It's like there you go. See? It's just peeling up right up and off here. You don't want to break anything though. Just run our finger along, boom, done. All right, and then we're gonna throw that in the back too. Okay, so now that the boots are off, we have a clearer picture of what's going on here. And we can already start to see the track right there. So that is the track. See how it kind of goes along there, and this piece right here, that is the that's what pulls this, and it goes along that track, and that's what right now you can see it was pushed forward, so it angled it up into the vent position, which is what we need to be able to get this off. You can't do it if it's way back there. It has to be like this, and if you can't, then I guess you'll have to take it somewhere or try to fish out the plastic to get your ears closed. But there's 3 screws here, 1, 2, 3 on each side, and we're just going to unscrew those, and we're going to lift up this glass and just push it back that way and let it rest right back here, because I guess it's heavy. And then from there I might pull it down to go clean it better, because we do need to clean around the seal very well. That's part of this project. But for now, we're just going to get those screws off so that we can move on. So, this one up here is probably the hardest one to very little. See? 1, 2, and loose. Now, I'm making a note right now that near the end of this, when you put it back up, this bracket right here has wiggle room to push it up and down, as does these other ones, so that, because you got to get your sunroof back at the right level when it's closed. So when we put this back on, we're not going to screw these screws down all the way tight, so that when we close the sunroof, we can reposition it to the proper height and then tighten it down. But this side's undone, and now we're gonna go do the other side. I'm gonna bring a light out here next time. 4. Oops. That one I dropped into the track. So we're gonna fish that one out after I lift the glass off. And then there's the last one. So the glass is free now. And here, we'll change our angle so you can see me lift this up and out. Okay, so this glass is free. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna lift it up Yeah, it's not that heavy, but we are just going to slide it back onto this part like that and out of the way. Now we can get up there and start inspecting everything, which we're going to do now. Let's see what we got here. So there's my screw, and this is where the magnetic thing comes in. So we got that sucker. We'll put it in the bowl and then inspect this. All right, so now that we have the glass off, again, you can see how, I don't know if you can see that, but look at how muddy that was and gross that is. So yeah, this glass, that's what happened here, is that this seal really needs to be cleaned very well and lubricated, and it needs to remain lubricated. You see there's some weather stripping here, but I think what happens is it gets pulled in, and when it gets pulled down off of this lip right here, it sticks. I mean, I can feel how gross and grimy that is right there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the cause right there. Like, look at that. Look at how much I just cleaned off of there. Yeah, this thing needs to be super cleaned off and lubricated, and I'm pretty sure that's the root of our problem. Now, as Pac Fan Web was explaining, this track gets, most of the time, 70% of the time, he said, it cracks, and you can even see, I can see a crack right there. And there's, I'm quite sure it cracked on the other side, but that might even be no, that's just the thing. But there's a crack there, and if I go over to that side, I can see, I think I can even see right from here already, over there, where a piece broke off. Now, we just want to look down in here and see if there's anything obstructing this track. If there's anything, I mean, that track's in there nice and tight. I don't see anything with the track, which is good. There's some grease right there, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking this screw off. This is what you need, the #1 screw, Thor, because there's a stopper right here, and we have to push this thing down when we go to pull this guy out right here. So like, this thing is the track right here. So this part's going to get nice and greased up right here, and then we're going to have to unscrew that right there, and then we have to unscrew this screw right here, and then we got to pull this thing back a little bit because there's another screw underneath to get this clip off. Once we get that off, then we have to kind of muscle this thing forward enough so that this right here can move forward enough and fit into this little hole right here. Once that is done, we can pull it out. Well, actually, we have to pull this thing off too, which we'll get to as well, but we have to pull that out before we try to muscle this thing. But once we get this to here, we'll be able to pop it through, and then we'll be able to pull it out the end and replace this track. But let's go over and inspect that other side one last time real quick here. So it doesn't take much to see the problem here, and this is where I heard my crunch and crack. So there's a big chunk right there, see it? Look at that chunk. All right, so we got to fish that guy out of there. Let's do that. Here. That sucker out of there. Oh yeah, look at that. And then I have another piece down in the cup holder that I found when this happened, and I had no clue what I was looking at or how to even deal with this. But now that I understand, I don't feel like this is going to be that big of a project. So I'm quite sure I lucked out. So like I said, PacWeb Sun, or I'm sorry, I just murdered that. What is it? Pac Fan Web. I'm sorry. He was saying to make sure that your track below isn't loose or there's any damage to that. And this thing's nice and tight on the track. I don't see any other obstructions in there. I'm quite sure once I take this track off and inspect it better, we'll see where that broke off, but he was saying it usually breaks off right under here somewhere. And so I'm quite sure that's what happened. And technically I could be like, oh yeah, this is good, I could keep using this, but no. So like right there, look at that, there's a crack right there. And so when this track tries to go past that and comes back, it's gonna hit that and it's gonna stop it and make the sunroof not open. So these definitely need to be replaced. It's a bad thing, but it's a good thing because I can fix this and it's only gonna cost me the $170 that I paid for these things and my time to do it. And now that I know how to do it, if it ever happens again, I'm not going to be so freaking out when I hear it happen. But it shouldn't happen, because if you maintain your seal, it shouldn't happen anymore. So, good news for me, in a good way, I guess, as good as it can be. So let's get into taking these out. All right, we're gonna, before I take those out, I think what we're gonna do is get this glass down, and look at that too. So it's not that heavy, but it's heavy enough that if you could break something if you're not careful. So we are going to be very careful. I mean, it is kind of heavy. You don't want to break anything. So yeah, let's bring this guy over here and be very careful with it. All right, let's set you down right here and look at this guy better. So yeah, this thing's dry as a bone all along there. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go around and clean and lubricate this guy. Well, I'll clean it right now, but I will wait to lubricate it well, I guess it doesn't matter. So let's do that. So yeah, I'm gonna use some alcohol to really clean this thing off. Okay, clean that sucker off real good. We're gonna go around all the edges and do that. I can even feel that is our new puppy. We do not have a name for him yet. We'll let you know. Okay. As my cute puppies play, I am cleaning this off the best I can. You can see there was quite a bit of stuff on there. I mean, look at how dirty that rag is. Not any lubrication whatsoever on this guy. I'm trying to figure out the best approach to lubricating this thing. I don't know if I should do it yet or wait till I get it back up there. I feel like carrying it over there with all that lube on there might be a bad idea. So I think what I will do is lubricate, when I'm getting ready to do this, I'll lubricate these three sides and then wait to do this one that is up and vented so I can reach it, and then I have a way to handle this as I'm getting it up there. All right, so this is clean. Now let's go take those tracks off. All right, I am hoping that my camera is set up right. So like I said, the very first step of getting this track off is to get this blocker out. So we are going to unscrew that, and that is a number 1 screw. That came out very easy. And yeah, so we have our magnet. You can put that right there. And that guy just slides, it slid right out. But we do gotta push that down to get it out. So that slid right out of there. And there's that piece right there. That's your stopper, okay? Now, Now that that stopper's out, this thing can freely move, but we do have to remove these things, these screws here. So as you can see, this thing should kind of, we do need a flathead screwdriver. We're gonna need that too. Now that the blocker is out, we need to slide this piece back. So do we do that? Pull slightly on this to get it back out of the way to expose those two screws right here that are holding this clip in place. I'm gonna use a number 2 screwdriver to get those out, like that. And they're little. Those are little. So let's not lose those. Okay, here's another one. Okay. And there's the second one. All right. So now this clip should just come out of there. Use my pick. I've got big fat fingers, so a pick is always a handy thing to have, just to get things up and out. Okay, so you can see there's like a little lip, so when we put that back on, it needs to go onto there. And we're gonna set that guy right in there. And now, what we need to do is, let's not throw a greasy thing on. What we need to do is pull this guy off. Here. There we go. And now that is free. So, this thing should be able to move freely on this track now. We don't have this guy connected to it. And what we need to do now is we need to, like I said, get this lined up with that hole so we can pop the track off and then slide it forward and off. So, this is where they say to use a, they showed doing this. Yeah, see, so like, see how I'm pushing it back? And it's kind of like, it's getting there, but we don't want to damage the track, so just gotta be careful with it. Kind of like, I'm getting there. There we go. So it's kind of there. So I think it even went a little too far. Yeah, see, I pushed it too far. And I just got to keep sliding this guy so we get it where we need it. And then you know, it's just one of those things that you're just gonna have to kind of get it in the right spot until it pops out of there. And I'm just not there yet. Hey, let me get on the inside and see if I can see better. Let's see. So yeah, what I want to show is, see, we have to line that nubbins right up with that hole to pop it off of there. And that's what we're gonna do right now, best I can, and try to get you a good angle while we do it. Yeah, see, I gotta go back just a little bit more with it. Come on, you sucker. There we go, see? All right, so that's free. Now, come back out here. here. All right, so this track is completely free. Stopper's out, this piece is off, that's off of there. So now we just need to slide this off, but to do it, we push down on this track to get it out, and look at that, it just popped right out. Oh, there goes my screwdriver. And then there's our piece right there. And look at all that, look at that. Yeah, let me take this off so you can see closer. So look at all those cracks right there. Right there's a crack. Right there's some cracks. Yeah, this thing was just inevitably going to fail. So now let's put in the new one. Okay, so I'm just back on the bench real quick with this, and now we're gonna open up this box real quick and see what's inside of it. Because that's always part of it, is I'm pretty sure I got the right piece. Because you go to the, you know, we go to, I went to Ford, and hopefully they know their stuff too. I told them what I needed, even though they told me I needed the whole thing at first, instead of just these tracks. So, okay, it looks like it comes with brand new clips and the pieces too. See, look, it came with the extra screws and new clips for that. That's interesting. I don't know. I mean, I suppose I could use those. I don't know why I would just use the ones that are there. But hey, if I lose a screw, I guess I got a new one. So I'm guessing that these are one for each side. And I also believe, no, they did not. I read somewhere that someone said they came pre-greased. They are not. They don't look, maybe they are. Are they? Yeah, no, they are. No, they have a little bit of grease on them, it looks like. Yeah, no, they do. They're pre-greased. So you don't really need to even grease them, it looks like. So let's try to keep them out of the gook until... Alright, here we go. Alright. So this is the old one. Yeah, these are, I would imagine, for one for each side, right? Do they say left and right on them? So yeah, I mean, yeah, there's an outside and inside to them. So this one matches this one. So this is the one we're going to do on the left side. It looks fairly... Well, no. See, look. Okay. So it does look slightly different. Now, this one's for this side because these tabs are over here. All right. So this is why we compare parts. That looks that looks like identical. Everything's there. Okay. So, let's not use the crappy one. This one's definitely cracked and broken. That's the old one. Throw that one aside. And then here's our new one. It does have grease on there, but I might put a little bit more grease on there. Why not, right? And then let's go install this guy. So here we go. We're gonna install this new guy here. So we got to push this sucker down past it. And I noticed there's like springs, so I think that's the tough part, is pushing it in and getting those metal clips underneath there to wedge in there. But it looks like this was the hardest part of this whole thing, was getting these guys in the track properly. There we go. And then, come on, almost got you. There we go. All right, she's in. Now, what we need to do, it's got to go in a little bit more. It's a little crooked still. All right. There we go. All right. it is in there, but we do need to do some, we got to put the blocker back in. All right, now that the blocker has been installed, after putting this new track slider piece on, we went ahead and did that. I popped that in and we popped that in. Now the next step is to reinstall this clip, but to do that you got to kind of push it back so that these two tabs line up about center as best you can, right? All right. Bless you. All right, now we don't want to over tighten those, but those are nice and snug now. That is in place. Now here's an important step, because I know it's easy to forget, is this piece also has to be bent back and slid back in place like that. Now this track is officially back to normal, and we just have to repeat over on that side, which we're about to do. All right, let's do it. That side definitely has chunks in there still, and then we'll get to that. All right, guys, it's like riding a bike. Just did one, now we just got to get back on and do it again. All right, that was not bad really at all. This one, I can still see some pieces in there that we have to fish out, but we did our pre-inspection. So like I said, what we got to start with is we pop this guy off right here, just like that. Little screw, and take that guy right out of there. See, this one is being a little bit more stubborn, so just make sure we pull it out nice with some needle nose. There we go, there's our stopper. All right, we put that guy right there. Here is one of our chunks. Throw that right there. Hey, so like on the other side, you pull back on this bracket here to slide that piece forward or back, so that we can expose these two screws right here, which are number 2 screws. All right, and we got our piece here. Hold on. There we go. All right. A greasy piece, and don't want that to get all crap in it. Okay. Now that that's free and back out of the way, we can now force this guy back a little bit, but I think no, this one went back without the force. I just did that by hand, and we gotta kind of wiggle it out of this sucker. All right. See that? But yeah, okay, so we gotta bring it forward a little bit. There we go. Lined up, popped out. Boom. All right. Easiest way to do that is from the inside, not the outside. Now that this is free, we can push it forward. Ooh, there's pieces in here that are, all right, so that piece came out too, and let's fish for pieces. All right, I see stuff. Okay, all right, There's a piece right here in the track. Look at that. Okay, so there's a chunk right there. I don't see anything on there. Ooh. Yeah. There's another chunk. Look at that one. I didn't even see that one. Ooh. Now, again, that made me nervous when I saw that one right away because I thought it was part of that. All right, look at all that plastic. All right, so everything's intact on my track. Woohoo! And like I said, I already pre-inspected that before, but I didn't see all those chunks that were in there. That's quite a bit of stuff that broke off all in one. So look at that. Yeah. So when you're taking this thing apart, inspect, inspect, inspect. Look at that. Yeah. So like right there. Take the camera off and so you can get a close-up view of that. Look at that crack right there. That will prevent your slider from sliding no matter what you do, and it had to be replaced for sure. Garbage. See ya. Alright, let's put in the new one. Okay, we have our new track that is greased up, and like I said before, this seems to be the biggest pain of this whole thing because it looks like you gotta just get this in there the right way and force it onto the track there a little bit. There we go. It's going slowly. There we go. All right. So it's on. Kind of. There we go. Shit. All right. Oops. All right. So now we gotta line this guy up again. Pushing that forward a little bit seems to help. Getting that guy out of the way. Hopefully you can see that. I'm just trying to coerce that without breaking anything onto that tab. There we go. Boom. That's on. We are gonna, I guess before I do that, we're gonna slide this guy back a little bit. Now, there. All right, he's in place. And then before I put that on, let me put the stopper back in. There we go. That was a little bit of a pain. All right. Patience sometimes. Okay, that part's in. Now, what we do is we're gonna pop this guy back on. And it's a little hard to do. There we go. And then we gotta remember to slide this back. Like that. All right. This is done. Now, what I understand is after we're not done. We do have to put these clips back on, so I got overzealous. We got to slide this back, and then we do have to line this up best you can again. That's right. And we got to put these guys this right back in there like that. See? You gotta pay attention. All right. There's that. Okay, last screw. Right there, like that. All right. Get some of this grease off of here. It's smudging all over my truck. All right. That edge looks like I need to clean it still. But this track is done and installed. So what we have to do now is put the glass back up here, lightly screw it in and adjust the height, and then we have to do a pre-program on the inside, and then it's done, I hope. All right, let's go get this done. All right, so here's the sunroof glass. This is the back edge. I'm gonna clean it even better. You can see my paper towel got pretty gross cleaning that, but I think this is just as important prep now as all that other stuff. So I'm just gonna spray a little bit more alcohol on here to really clean that off. And then, because that's the main contact of the thing, of the sunroof, as is these other edges along the side here. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is this edge, since it'll be up and vented, I'm not going to lubricate this now so that I have something to hold on to as I carry it over. But I do think I am going to clean and lubricate all three of these sides, especially that front one, because they'll be in there. They'll be kind of a pain to get to once they're up there, and we'll see how that works. We are going to put our glass back up. Before I do that, I'm going to lubricate it. I cleaned it very well with rubbing alcohol around all the edge, and now I'm going to go ahead and use some of this paste here, and I'm going to probably just use my finger to do this. And I'm not going to do this back edge yet because that'll be vented up and I'll have something to hold on to. But I am going to start lubricating Who knew that you had to keep your sunroof lubricated? So I will do that from now on, and I will not, hopefully not have to do this again. All right, well, let me do the other side here. I mean, I don't think you want to cake this stuff on, because you don't want it getting all gross and gritty and stuff, but you definitely want it lubricated, right? All right, I did all three of those sides, and we're gonna leave it at that until I actually can lift it up there in place and reinstall this. So let's go get everything set up for that. All right, I'm going to do my best to put this glass up there. So I also have less edges to carry this sucker by without getting my finger greasy. So let's go. Right. You might want to do this with 2 people. If you, ooh, I may want to do this with 2 people. All right. So this is the front, and just want to be careful setting this down. Just treat it gingerly, right? Alright. Okay. I set it up there gingerly. There is some grease on here still. I'm gonna go back around and fine tune it, but at least we got it good once with it up off the roof. Alright, I have both of my tracks installed, and I've lubed and maintenanced around the glass, and what we're going to do next is we are going to put the glass on and screw it down loosely so that we can get, because we got to get the glass at the right height. You don't want it too low, you don't want it too high, you want it just level, just like this one is right here. But here's a little tip. These things are a little easier to at least get started with the roof off. So put this bottom piece on here while you can, and let it just flap on the inside until you get the glass on, and then you can secure them up that way. So put these on right now. I put that side on, I'm gonna put this one on. I'm gonna screw the glass on loosely and show you how I'm doing that, and get to this right level, and then we're gonna do our pre-programming and be done with this thing and move on with my life. Everything is back in place. I've got my slides in. Everything is where it needs to be. So now we're going to take our glass and put it back on here like that. And you gotta make sure the bracket's on the inside, right, of everything. Yeah, just like that. Okay. This will help me see a little better. So yeah, so like there'll be some adjustment to these. So now that it's in place, I'm going to put the screws in and lightly screw them and put them where I think they should be. And then we're going to, then we will close the vent and just double check the height on the outside with everything. All right. This one is hard to see, so I'm going to use a flashlight while I do this. Okay, so that one's in. That one was lightly loosely in there. Hey, there you are. Okay, that side's done. And we're just going to do this other side up. Okay. Now, I remember on this one, it was glazed a little bit, so we're going to raise that up. Okay, we're going to loosen that sucker. We're going to loosen you. And you. Okay. And then, just going to loosen you up just a little bit. Okay, so see how, I don't know if you can see that in the video, but it's a little loose, and that's what we want. Gets us power here. Let's close the vent. Okay, it's closed. So now, what we want to do is turn off the truck, and then we want to go on the outside and just kind of make sure we need to push up and then tighten to get it to the right height. Now, the instructions, from what I've heard people say, is that you want it to be within an eighth of an inch of it, or not even that. I cannot see this side. It's a pain to get to see. Okay, there you are. Okay, we're gonna push you up and then tight. Okay. Okay. It is right where it wants to be. We're gonna tighten this guy. Okay, tight. Okay, that is tight. So let me show you why we keep the screws loose. So you can see on this side, see how it's not level with the glass? And if I reach underneath and push up, see how I can get it to the right length or right height? Same with over on this side. Like if you look at that, we keep those screws loose so that I can push this up to the right height, because we want it to be about the same all the way across, nice and flush like that. So that's where we got to set our screws. We don't want it too high, you don't want it like that, and you don't want it like that. You want it, I'm guessing, right about there. Got it where I want it. Okay. Now, check this other one again real quick. I think I got it where I want it. Tighten everything up. Back. I swear there's another screw there somewhere. Where are you? There you are. Okay. It should be done. Now we do the pre-programming, but let's see. Before we do that though, let's raise it. Oh, wait, we gotta turn on the car. Alright. Okay, it goes up. Woohoo. Alright, now, before I go through the reprogramming of the sunroof, which is the last step, I'm just going to go up and add my lubrication, and then we're done with this project. Okay, we are on the home stretch of this repair. So, like I said, I did all those sides while it was off, and I cleaned this, so now we're just going to lubricate this guy. With silicone paste. Now the very last step is to reinitialize, reprogram the sunroof, and we're going to go do that now. We are in the vehicle and we are on the last step. Everything is closed and it is ready to be reinitialized. From what I understand, you need to do this part after you do a repair. And we're going to go ahead and try to do that now. So what you have to do is we press this once, we press this on and off, on, off, press this again, and then we press and hold that for 15 seconds and it should start doing a process. I think when the first process does the shade, once that's done, you press it again and it does another one. And then once that's done, then you do all the one touch press testing. So let's try this. I'm going to turn my vehicle on so I'm not just running off the battery for all of this. And let's try this. So we go on, off, off, press and hold. 15 seconds, let's see what happens. And there it goes. And it's doing all its stuff. So the bottom shade is closing right now. And you can see I'm still holding the button while this is going on. And it's gonna open all the way back up again. Okay, so now that that's all happened, I let go and I press it again and it's going to hold it and I'm going to do all of its stuff. Okay, so now it should be done. So now I should be able to test everything. So let's one test close the shade and it goes up to the middle. Press it once again and the shade closes all the way. Okay, good. So far so good. So let's go ahead and open the shade one touch. Oop, wrong button. And it should just go halfway. And then if we press it again, it should go back all the way. Okay, so now here's the biggest moment of truth. The vent I know opens, so we're gonna close that guy. And then we're gonna open it. And you heard it snap just so slightly. And it opened, and if we press it again, it should go fully open like that. Now we're gonna press single close all the way up. Awesome. And let's vent, close vent, one touch open. No snap this time. One touch all the way open. One touch all the way closed. One touch close. Should go halfway. One touch close again. And look at that. My sunroof is repaired. And that is awesome. And thanks for watching. And I am so glad that this project went the way it did, and it's over. Have a good day.
Beep.